This is the Leitmotif in Movement podcast, a father and son's journey into the vast worlds of music. I'm your host, Mike Ficklin, and joining me on this epic musical journey is my son,
Michael Ficklin.
This show is dedicated to the discussion of music and introducing Michael to music from the past and present. We will mainly be discussing the genres of rock, hard rock, and heavy metal. We will also from time to time dive into film and video game scores, and we'll sprinkle in some surprises along the way. Michael, what have you been listening to this week?
Of course, the assignments, like always. Also, in my big playlist, which has a lot of the podcast music and other music I like.
Got any examples of the stuff on the playlist?
Periphery, Protest the Hero, here, I can, Seven Dust, and many more.
Right on. Okay. Yeah, for me, I've listened to a whole bunch of stuff in addition to the assignments for this week as well. I checked out a band called An Abstract Illusion. They're a progressive death metal band out of Sweden, and I listened to all of their releases kinda to wet my whistle for the new Opeth record. I very much enjoyed my journey through their music. They are very talented musicians, and they go hard as hell. I think you would like them if you liked Opeth, Michael.
Okay. I'll put some thoughts into that.
I also listened to the new Killswitch Engage single called Forever Aligned. It's just straightforward metalcore greatness. This is the lead single coming from their new record. They decided to choose violence. I mean, this song goes hard and through the verses, and it's melodic through the chorus, similar to a lot of other Killswitch Engage material. My body is ready, my soul is ready, my heart is ready. I cannot wait for the whole album. Also listened to the new single from Coheed and Cambria called Searching for Tomorrow. This is the second single that they've released from their coming album, Vaxis 3. It's another solid rocker. It's got that feel like their older material, just like with the first single that they released. It's got great hooks, and the music video is animated, and it's outstanding, and seems to feature what appears to be the band going through the Willing Well, which is a kind of like a mystical portal that appears in the fictional story that the Coheed and Cambria Amory Wars records take place in. Pretty cool. I also listened to the new EP from the Japanese prog metal band Arise and Stability. EP is called Recessive Thoughts with Mass. This was a really enjoyable listen. It goes so hard. I hope that the direction that they've shown on this EP actually continues into their next full album because, yeah, this thing just completely rocked. I also checked out the new single from Machine Head, which included members of In Flames, Lacuna Coil, and Unearth. The single's called These Scars Won't Define Us, and man, what a single. It's just this incredible collection of musicians in a really good song. It goes hard as hell.
Okay.
I think you would like this one, Michael. It's really well done. I also listened to the new live album from Rival Sons called Pair of Aces Part 1. Hands down, this is one of the best hard rock bands out there. It is, unfortunately, though, another live album where there is no audience, so that energy is missing, but the band is absolutely on their A game. They bring an excellent performance on this. I really enjoyed it. Looking forward to the second part of this. Archaeologist also put out a new single called King of the Swamp that I listened to. It's taken from the soundtrack to an upcoming skateboarding game called Ollie Frog Toad Skater. It features a guitar solo from Fallujah guitarist Sam Moradian. And don't let the silly-sounding name fool you. This song kicks ass. next thing I listened to, actually, these next couple of records I listened to, there's probably a bit of controversy. There's some controversial figures involved. This first record I'm going to make a reference to is from As I Lay Dying. It's their new record, Through Storms Ahead. And before I discuss it, I do want to be clear that this brief review I'm about to give is not an endorsement of As I Lay Dying vocalist Tim Lambesis as a person. I do not condone his attempt to hire a hitman to kill his now ex-wife. This review is being given objectively about the new As I Lay Dying album as a work of art and nothing further.
Oh.
And honestly, what's that?
Oh.
Yeah. Remind me to tell you some more about that off the show. Pretty messed up. You know, honestly, were it not for the controversy surrounding Tim Lambesis, this record would have likely landed on a lot of best of 2024 lists. I mean, musically, it's that damn good. The rest of the band is absolutely in top form, and they really deserve a lot of credit for the work they put in on this. The whole album just rips. It might be one of my favorite releases ever from As I Lay Dying. I do hope that the rest of the band, without Tim, lands on their feet with another singer and they're able to continue on, because they're very good. This record really deserved the accolades. It's really too bad that Tim's not a good person.
Did this come out in the past few months? Or?
Yeah, it actually just came out a couple weeks ago. The next record that I listened to was from Marilyn Manson. It's their new record, One Assassination Under God, Chapter 1. And again, before I get into this, I want to make it clear that this review is being given objectively about the album as a work of art and nothing further. It is not an endorsement of Brian Warner, the person. He is obviously a very controversial figure and stands accused of sexual abuse crimes. He has not been convicted of anything yet. However, I want to make it clear that my review is not taking sides with Warner or over the alleged victims. This is strictly about the new Marilyn Manson album as a work of art. That said, this album for me represents a return to form for Marilyn Manson. It's easily their best record since Hollywood in the Valley of the Shadow of Death. Excellent songwriting. Manson's vocals are strong. I mean, without the controversy surrounding Brian Warner, I feel like this album would be on a lot of best of 2024 lists. It's really a shame. Good stuff. And the last thing that I've been checking out, aside from our assignments for this week, was the 20th anniversary edition of The Poison from Bullet for My Valentine. And man, this is such a damn good record. I actually forgot about how good this is. Full of hooks and catchy melodies. It was like revisiting an old friend, you know? The record has aged extremely well, and, you know, I found myself headbanging and singing along and stomping my feet through the whole listen. I love this album, man. I missed this album. I will definitely be listening to this more. I think you would like this. Lots of strong, hooky melodies. I think this is all you, man. I think you would love it.
You had a big, long list, and then you had the controversial listens.
Yeah, I mean, I wanted to give just some brief overviews of both of those records, because objectively, looking at them just as a work of art, they're both fantastic. They're really good. It's too bad that members of those bands have been embroiled in controversy, because otherwise I really feel like both of those records would have landed high on a lot of people's best of 2024 lists. It's really kind of sad.
Were they both singers for the band?
Yes. Yep.
Wow. Why does it seem like the singers always get in the most trouble?
I wouldn't say that's necessarily true in every case, but, you know, they are, most of the time, the vocalists are the face of the band, right? So they are typically the ones that get the most attention. So, yeah, just a shame. Anything else you've got for what you've been listening to?
Also thought of another thing on that big playlist, Finch.
Finch?
Mm-hmm.
Have you listened to anything else from them, or is it still just the What It Is to Burn record?
What It Is to Burn.
Okay. Yep. Good stuff. All right, so we will move on to our next segment. This is the Art of Discovery, and this is one of our absolute favorite sections on the show every week. We've got a new list of bands here that we're going to play some songs from here, and we're going to get started with a band called These Cursed Hands. This is their song, Perihelion. It's from their record, Intelligent Redesign.
Synapses, my core and my doses, beating with everything. the curtains, but righteous emotion.
And again, that was These Cursed Hands with their song Perihelion, and that is from their record Intelligent Redesign. They are a melodic death metal band out of Portland, Oregon. Michael, what'd you think about that one?
I think that's one of the most heaviest songs that we've listened to on the Art of Discovery.
Yeah, it goes hard, doesn't it?
Yeah. And if we're going heavy, rated, I think I'm going to have to put this one at number 1.
Oh, yeah?
Mm-hmm. For heavy, very heavy death metal.
Did you like that?
Mm-hmm.
Sweet. Our next song we're going to feature is from a band called, I believe it's pronounced Meanue, and the song is called All Good Old Days Rest in Limbo. And again, that was Meanue with their song All Good Old Days Rest in Limbo. This is a single that they put out. They are a post-hardcore alt-metal band out of Minnesota. Michael, what'd you think?
I liked how it opened up with the keyboards.
You like that?
Mm-hmm. And I think this song is good overall. I think I'm going to have to put it 5th on the whole entire Art of Discovery.
Wow. Big praise from Michael. Liked it that much, huh?
I was debating on putting it 4th or 3rd.
Oh, yeah? You've been making a list? Checking it twice? Anything else on this one?
Other than I say it could provide, go against the song that I gave high praise last week.
Panic Waves?
Yeah.
Yep. Awesome. Glad you enjoyed that. Did you have something else, Michael?
Yes. I was gonna add that I added it to my big Spotify list while we were listening to it.
Nice. Nice. Glad you liked it that much. All right. So, moving into our last song featured on this episode's Art of Discovery. This is a band we've featured on this segment before, but they've finally put out their new record. This is Against I with their song Bound in Blood, and it comes from their new record, Songs for the Dying.
Writing on his skin, rules God gave to flesh.
And once again, that was Against I with their song Bound in Blood from their new record, Songs for the Dying. Against I is a black and melodic death metal band from Sweden. Like I said, we featured them on this show before. Michael, what'd you think of this one?
I really liked it. I was headbanging the whole entire time.
As was I. Great stuff. The whole new record is outstanding. I really enjoy it a lot.
When did it come out?
Earlier this week, I think. Or no, last week, sorry. Came out last week.
It's pretty good.
Yeah, you should check out the whole thing. It's very good. Especially if you want to headbang through the whole thing. And I just wanted to give a quick advertisement for all three of these bands, and really any band that we've played so far in our Art of Discovery segments. All of these bands have music for sale through Bandcamp, and it's on, I believe it's on Fridays. Bandcamp waives their fees, so any music that you buy from these bands through Bandcamp, they make 100% of the profit. Bandcamp doesn't collect anything off the top, so they make 100% of the profit. So for anyone interested in the music that they've heard so far in our Art of Discovery segments and want to support these bands, do so on these Bandcamp Fridays. Totally worth it. Totally worth letting these bands get paid for the great music that they're making here. Great way to support them. Michael, do you have anything else on any of the songs we've presented this week?
Other than you.
Yeah, absolutely. Big shout out to These Cursed Hands, Meanue, and Against I for allowing us to play their music on this week's episode. If you are in a band and you're interested in having us play some of your music in the Art of Discovery segment, feel free to reach out to us. You could reach out to us through messages through Instagram. You could reach out to us through Threads, Blue Sky. You can shoot us an email. We'd love to hear your music, and we'd love to give you guys a shout and play your music on the show, give you some exposure. All right, and now we're moving into our main topic for the episode. This time, we're breaking down Opeth's brand new 2024 release, The Last Will and Testament. Michael, I know you and I have really been looking forward to this.
All I gotta say is it does.
So a little bit of background on The Last Will and Testament. This is actually the full plot of the concept as explained by singer, guitarist, lyricist Michael Ackerfeld from Opeth. This comes from an interview he gave with Kerrang! Magazine. He states, it starts with three siblings arriving at their family mansion. Their father, a stern, old, conservative, paranoid, evil, noble bleep, has passed away, and they're going to divide his will between his three children. There's two twins, one man and one woman in their late 20s, and then a young girl who's riddled with polio, some skeletal type of disease. The lyrics are like the reading of the Testament. That's why the songs don't have titles, just paragraph 1, 2, down to 7. Throughout the reading of the Testament, these kids find out a lot about themselves, a lot about their father's secrets and their connection with family. The twin siblings are the result of a donor procreation. The patriarch and his wife tried to have children. It didn't work out. The patriarch blamed the wife for being barren, but they wanted children so much that they tried with the donor, an actual guy having sex with his wife. She got pregnant with the twins, but in the meantime, the main character had regrets that his wife had been violated by another man. So he basically regrets the two twins, and also that they are not his blood. Throughout the reading of the Testament, the twins find out that he wasn't their father, and they are ultimately left out of the will. His only true child by blood is the sick woman. She inherits everything, but she is the result of a love affair that he has had with the maid of the mansion. He lied to his wife, saying that his maid had an affair, and that they should take care of her poor child like one of their own kind. So now his wife has also passed away, but she kind of knew it was her husband being unfaithful, and the child is still brought up in the house. She's a blood heir. She inherits everything. Then the testament ends, and the last song, The Story Never Told, comes in. She's now living in the mansion. She's got it all, but then a letter arrives. It's from her mother, the maid, saying, "I lied to your father. You're the result of another love affair. He was never your dad." So there's that kind of twist to end the story. The patriarch was sterile. He never ended up having any kids of his own.
Plot twist after plot twist.
Right?
Wahaha.
Michael, did you enjoy the overall concept of this record?
I didn't understand any of the concept until you explained it to me.
You never picked up on any of that just listening to the album?
No. The only thing I picked up on was gloominess.
The gloominess?
Yeah.
So I do want to go ahead and shout out real quick Opeth for the amazing box set for this record that they put out. I received my box set last week. It included not only a double vinyl version of the record, but it also came with a CD with Blu-ray version of the record, and it came with this really cool, it's a fountain pen with an actual bottle of ink, and it also has like a little notebook that you can use the pen and ink in. I thought it was really cool idea, and featured within both the vinyl release and the CD is an actual copy of the Last Will and Testament that is being read throughout the record. And on the other side of that is the actual letter that the heiress of the estate receives from her mother, explaining that who she thought was her dad is not her dad after all. In fact, included in the box set is handwritten lyrics signed by Michael Ackerfeld for the final song on the record, A Story Never Told. Very cool box set. So, Michael, without any further ado, let's go ahead and jump into our track-by-track analysis. We will start out with paragraph 1, and I'm going to give a little bit of background on each track. This was given by Michael Ackerfeld through iTunes, or Apple Music, rather. So, about paragraph 1, Michael says, "This was the first song written for the album. It's when I dipped my toe in the water, so to speak, to see where I was on a musical level. At the time, I didn't really have the lyrics ready, but I wanted to try out the screaming vocal, so this song is kind of the guinea pig for that. And usually when I start writing for a record, I come out all guns blazing, so it's kind of heavy, evil, fast, and a bit insane. Lyrically, the kids are being summoned to attend the reading of their late father's last will and testament. There's also a couple of solicitors in place. The reading starts, and he's explaining that there's going to be prizes, but they may not be what you wanted." Michael, what'd you think of this song?
I like how the gloominess and I like the gloominess and how the instruments and the vocals just mix together to make this like beautiful but gloominess, darkness, and heavy song.
Yeah, the song has a sort of theatrical, spooky, ghostly vibe to it, right? I love the return of Michael's death metal growls. He actually did away with using those several records back. I believe it's been 4 records since Opeth last had death metal growls. So it's been quite a while, over a decade. And it was awesome to hear the return of Michael's death metal growls. There was a moment when I thought in this song that they had invited Brian May from Queen to play on this song, because there's this very Queen guitar riff about halfway through the song. You know what I'm talking about, Michael?
Yeah.
Very Queen-esque. I really love the guitar work overall in the song. The drums are also killer. This song probably has the most memorable, catchy lyrics on the entire album. Just outstanding opening track. Michael, you got anything else?
Let's continue reading.
All right, so moving into the next track, titled Paragraph 2. Michael says, I can hear that I was quite comfortable with whatever I was doing musically here, and that kind of stands out because it has 2 guests on there. On Paragraph 1, you have a voiceover thing by Ian Anderson of Jethro Tull, and he's heavily featured in Paragraph 2 as well. And so is Joey Tempest from Europe. For some reason, he loves Opeth, which is awesome for me because I grew up with Europe. The song itself is pretty adventurous, I think. It's probably one of those songs that will take a long time to sink in with the listener. There's also a calm section that I kind of nicked from Paul Simon's Still Crazy After All These Years. Michael, what do you got on this one?
I really like the opening to the song, and then it from the keyboard they start hitting the drums, and then it carries into the song, and I think this is probably my second favorite song on that.
Say it's your second favorite song on the record?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, so Paragraph 1 obviously flows seamlessly into this second paragraph musically. I love the bass sound on this entire record, but the bass line on this song really stands out. I love Michael's theatrical singing in the background while Ian Anderson is reading from the Will and Testament. I love it. If I could play a piece of that on the show, I would. It's just out there. It's super over the top and theatrical, but it's amazing. Michael's vocals are just killer on it. I also love the sort of creepy, spiraling guitar work that happens just before the jazzy breakdown toward the end of the song. Fun stuff.
If I can find the jazzy part, if I can find it, and it's the part I'm thinking of, it may be boosted to my favorite song on the album.
You like those jazzy little interludes? Good stuff.
It is.
It is the song you were thinking of?
Yeah.
Great stuff, right? Got that crazy spiraling guitar work that leads into that jazz breakdown. Good stuff.
And there it goes into Release Your Soul.
Yes. All right, so we'll move into Paragraph 3, which is the third track on the record. About Paragraph 3, Michael says, this is more of a classic heavy metal song, I would say. The opening was inspired by a theme you often hear in jazz music, like Django Reinhardt, but also has some classical music and fusion rock bands. And the musical Chess, believe it or not, which was written by Benny and Bjorn from ABBA. From there, it kind of becomes a normal heavy metal song, but with more emotions than your basic Iron Maiden song. I'm not saying Iron Maiden doesn't have emotions, but this is kind of a sad song, to me at least. Lyrically, there's some explanation about infidelity that happened and what that led to. Michael, what you got on that one?
I like that opening part where it's like... I can't really replicate it.
Are you talking about the music from the opening to the third track?
Instrumental?
Yeah.
It leads so well in.
Yeah, it just flows real seamlessly.
It goes paragraph 1, paragraph 2, not even realizing, paragraph 3.
Anything else to say on that?
No.
I mean, I agree with you. I love the straight up prog rock opening to this track. It's this crazy, complex, fun intro. The guitar solo on this song is so good. The extra strings work. It's beautiful, and it works really well on this song. And Michael's vocals are so good here. I mean, they're good throughout the record, but they really shine on this song. I feel like.
I have something to add to what I was saying. Like, once you get through all the instrumental at the beginning, you flow into Michael's vocals that just fit so well in the flow cycle. I feel this album has a flow cycle, which I kind of like, because it's like a big puzzle piece that is adding together if you listen to the vocals.
Yeah, because the first 7 songs comprise the last Will and Testament, it's kind of like one great big song that's divided into individual tracks, you know what I mean? Yeah, it's different musical styles being presented on the individual tracks, but it's all tied together by the overall concept and the lyrics. It's masterfully done.
Agreed.
Do you have anything else on paragraph 3?
Nope. Let's keep on reading.
All right. So we'll get into paragraph 4 next. And about that, Michael says, "This is an interesting tune because it's almost like a couple of different songs in one, which is not so uncommon for Opeth. I started off trying to write something called 12-note music, which is an experimental classical thing where you have 12 notes in an octave and you can't play the same note twice, meaning it's going to be messed up. So the beginning of the song is hard to sing along to. It's a bit Zappa-esque. That leads into kind of a metally call and response with death metal vocals and clean vocals, and then it stops and goes into a harp section. I actually found the harp player from an article in a Swedish newspaper, which is weird. That leads to the next section, which is Ian Anderson playing the flute. Then it builds into the most vicious, evil-sounding music on the record." Michael, what do you got on paragraph 4?
I could agree with Michael on the beginning part, like how it's hard to sing to, because it sounds like it's not held out, so you can't make out the word, and it's not
Emphasized?
Yeah. And I like the jazz part, kind of with the flute.
Yeah, dude.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It breaks out from the beginning part, and then all you get is this like cool flute part. I wish I could do this.
Yeah. And then it goes from that flute part into this just heavy as hell guitar section.
Yeah.
Yeah.
The song is like going from heaven, then to hell, then to heaven, and to hell.
Yeah. This song starts out with another just driving prog opening. Great bass and drum work on this. And again, the extra strings being used are being used to great effect on this. This is one of my favorite songs on the record, if not my favorite song on the record. The father, he's such a jerk in this particular song during this part of the Testament. This is where he's disowning the twins that he's raised as his own all this time. It's very cruel. To your thing about the flute solo, that psychedelic vibe during Ian Anderson's flute solo is just amazing. That whole piece of the song is so good. And then of course it's followed up with that just heavy as hell guitar section. It just feels huge and cinematic. There's an outstanding guitar solo on the song as well. And is it just me, or is Michael hinting that the man that slept with the father's wife was killed and placed in a shallow, unmarked grave. Is it just me?
Like I said, I can't really review the vocals because for some reason iTunes is not allowing me to.
Are you talking about the lyrics?
Yeah. So I can't really make sure I am thinking of the right thing. So I can't really get a good opinion on vocals.
You know Google
Like,
is your friend.
I don't even think Google has the lyrics. I'm not even playing. I don't even think it has the lyrics either.
I was able to Google up lyrics earlier today.
In the lyrics, it does say, soon in nameless grave.
Yeah, that's what I
towards the
mean.
end. Yeah.
It kind of sounds to me like he kills the guy that slept with his wife, that impregnated his wife with the twins. Or he has him killed.
Way too much.
Pretty messed up, right?
Yeah. First we disown the twins, then we basically say we murdered somebody.
Pretty messed up.
Everything's messed up.
Dark and evil. Dark and evil.
And it fits so well because it's at the end.
Yeah. Yeah. Anything else to say on this one, Michael?
Nope.
All right. So we will move right along to paragraph 5. And about paragraph 5, Michael says, "This is maybe the last song I wrote for the record, or one of the last. You can tell that I'm comfortable in my songwriting here because it's quite experimental. There's not a lot of acoustic guitars on this record, but the song is built around an acoustic lick and clean vocals, and all of it gradually becomes heavier. In some parts, maybe the heaviest sections on the record, and really good death metal vocals on that track, if I do say so myself. There's also a Middle Eastern sounding midsection, which I never dared to do before. If you just hear the song once, you probably won't know what's happening. You need some time with it." Michael, what do you got on this one?
I like the opening, like the first part of the song where it's like, I think it's a violin or some.
Yeah, there's some sort of extra strings going on for sure.
Mm-hmm. But I like that opening part where it's like, you know, when you're playing like a story game and you're in like a dark place and you finally get out into the light and it just starts playing that sound.
Yeah. It's like, oh.
That's what it reminds me.
Yeah. Anything else to say?
No.
Yeah, I agree with you. The song opens up with this total 70s prog rock vibe with lots of extra strings. It works really, really well. We get a bit of the Middle Eastern vibe in this song as well. Like Michael had mentioned in the song introduction, the drums are again a standout on this song. The metal breakdown about 2.5 minutes into the song is so good. It might be the best metal breakdown on the whole record. And we continue with this very theatrical, over-the-top vocal delivery from Michael. And I think it serves the concept of the record well. It's another outstanding guitar solo on this song as well. I really love the outro to the song too. I wish it didn't fade out so fast, though. I really would have liked some further repetitions of that outro guitar riff and the vocal refrain because it's super hooky, but they almost start fading out on it almost immediately as soon as he gets into it, which is a shame because I would have liked to heard it go another minute or two.
Something to add on to my statement is like right after the like beginning, like you get into the horizon, all you hear is just like random echoes and other things. When he like gets out of the first line, you hear like an echo.
Yeah.
But that's really it. Do you have anything else?
I don't have anything else. I mean, this is probably my second favorite song on the record, behind Paragraph 4. In Paragraph 1 is really good too. It's obviously the first song that I heard from the record because it was the first single that they put out. And for a while there, it was my favorite track on the record. But the more I've listened to it, Paragraph 4, Paragraph 5 have overruled it. Both of those songs are outstanding.
I'm surprised. I would think you'd be a Paragraph 1 guy.
Is that only because of the death metal vocals?
That and also the more like, it kind of has more of a traditional like death metal band group sounding to me.
Yeah, it's definitely the more, I guess, straightforward kind of radio rock and roll song. So, yeah, I can see what you're saying about that. Anything else from you on Paragraph 5?
Nope. Except for...
Do you like the outro to the song that I'm talking about?
I do, actually. Just hearing it, it sparked something. Because, I remember hearing it stand out more than the other songs when I was listening to it while I was doing stuff. While listening to the album.
Yeah, that outro is super hooky. I love that outro. It might be one of the best outros Opeth has ever written in their career.
Ooh, that's a high praise.
It really is. It really is. All right. Anything else from you, Michael?
Other than, let's keep on reading this will.
All right. So moving on to Paragraph 6. Michael says, during the recording, everybody feared this song because it's so difficult. It doesn't sound difficult, but for some reason it's really, really difficult. I'm not really a good guitar player or a good musician, but for some reason I have a knack for writing really complex music. In this song, it's almost like it spirals out of control in a way, like you're losing control of the horse and it just stampedes. I've never done cocaine in my life, but it sounds like what I imagine a cocaine rush is. I think that's got something to do with me not tampering with the tempo of the song, which resulted in us almost not being able to play the thing. What I really like about Michael and really these Swedish musicians in general is that they're so humble and and they have a lot of humility. And I'm sorry, Michael, but I disagree. You're an outstanding guitar player. You're a phenomenal musician. You do not need to downplay yourself. Michael, what do you got on Paragraph 6?
I will have to agree with you that for some reason Swedish people do like downplay themselves way too much.
Lots of humility.
Yeah. I really like the how it opens up on the song where it's like the same two strings sounding, and then it moves on and slowly adds more stuff to it. Have anything?
Yeah, I mean, we've got a really energetic opening, and again, that extra instrumentation works really well here. The quick, sudden changes to the song make this song sound so complex, So I can see why Michael said that this was the song that the band feared the most. There's a very cool sort of 80s prog keyboard solo that leads into a quick guitar solo on the song, and it's chef's kiss. It works so well. The drum work again on the song is so damn good. I mean, it's good through the entire album, but it's just it's so good on this song. You got anything else on this one?
I love the finish of the song where, like that melodic, chill music just starts playing. Even though this album is probably the darkest thing I've heard in a minute.
Definitely dark in the way of concept, for sure.
I say it beats Alice Cooper album that we reviewed. And that
I don't know, man. There's some dark stuff on that Alice Cooper record. But you're right. This album on the whole is the concept is super dark. It's very sad.
And
it's kind of evil.
Hearing the plot twist. Hearing the plot twist and then putting a nameless grave in the ground.
Yeah. Kind of messed
Shiver
up.
me timbers.
Right? Anything else on paragraph 6?
Nope. Except for Shiver me timbers. Let's keep on reading.
All right, so moving on to paragraph 7, which is track 7 on the record. Michael says, "This always felt like the ending song of a record, even if there's one after. But it's still the end of the testament, as it were. It's more of a groovy song. I don't really like that word, but sometimes it's the only word that applies. It's slower than the other songs, and less crazy. It's also the first song in our history where every band member sings. There's a multi-part harmony vocal that happens a couple of times, and everyone is in on it. I can tell you there were people who had never been in front of a microphone before, which was quite fun." Michael, what do you have on paragraph 7?
I like how it opens up.
Yeah, it's kind of got this ominous feeling to the opening, right?
Mm-hmm.
Kind of paranoid and heavy.
Yeah. It kind of... I'm trying to think what it reminds me of. For some reason, I'm thinking Periphery. I don't know why. I just think of like a part from one of the songs from Periphery that kind of like has that type of groove.
Yeah, it's kind of got a vibe that you could probably match to a Periphery song, maybe Flatline.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. Yeah. That's what I feel that matches closest to in my mind. But I do agree with Michael. It does seem that this song should end like the album. But of course, we have a story never told.
Right. Even though the song does have this ominous feel to the opening and kind of feels paranoid and heavy is how I would describe it, the lyrics seem to indicate that there's a bit of hope in the message being conveyed. The father is hoping that his disowned children can find a way to forge their own paths in life and forget about this toxic idea of inheritance. It's the father's final goodbye. The song closes out with this really ghostly theatrical vibe. It's kind of a really cool. I don't know how to describe the vibe. It's really cool. It's an excellent way of closing out on the reading of the Testament. It's good stuff.
I like after you go through all the instrumental part at the beginning, you start hearing Michael's vocals, and then all you hear is like a very slight noise of a gong going off.
Yeah, kind of like a bell.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I'm pretty sure called a gong. I don't know. I may be, but and then I'll have to agree with you at the ending part.
You're talking about like with the vibe of the song.
Ghostly, yeah, the ghostly and
Yeah, the whole album kind of has that theatrical, ghostly vibe to it. Almost like something that they could have taken and made a stage production out of this. Like a musical almost, you know what I mean?
and I also agree with you, like how he's basically telling the uh twins to move on with life, forget.
Yeah, he makes mention that he's leaving them these items that have the family crest on them.
Heirlooms.
What's that?
He says, I'm pretty sure family crest, and then he like says a few more things, and then heirlooms.
Yep.
A few times.
Yeah, things that have no monetary value. They're more,
Family heirlooms.
yeah, just reminders of where they came from, of the quote unquote family they used to be before good old dad decided to be a jerk and disown them. Got anything else on this one?
Nope.
All right, so we move on from there to the final track on the record. This is track 8. It's titled A Story Never Told. Michael says about this one, at this point, the testament is done, but everything that's been said in the testament doesn't really apply because here comes the twist to the story, as if we haven't already had enough twists. Michael continues, the inheritance has been settled, a few years have passed, and a letter arrives revealing a secret. The song itself is a ballad, and I'm a sucker for ballads. I wanted to write a beautiful ballad, not just because I love ballads, but because the 7 songs prior to A Story Never Told are so intense that there's no room for breath, really. And this song feels like a good ending with a beautiful Gilmore, Blackmore-esque solo by Opeth guitarist Fredrik at the finish. Michael, what do you got on this one?
I like the piano, like throughout the whole entire song.
Yeah.
Like so smooth.
This might be the prettiest song that Opeth has ever written.
Wow. Another high praise.
Just an observation.
Yeah. Well, of course, I haven't listened to all the albums from Opeth, so I don't really have an opinion.
Yeah, you don't really have anything as far as Opeth to compare it to anyway.
I do agree with you. We had gotten way too many plot twists.
Plot twist, the twins aren't mine. Also plot twist, turns out the little girl isn't mine either.
Plot twist, the man that had the twins with my wife is dead.
Perhaps by my hand, perhaps by someone else. Yeah, so it's just an excellent ballad to close this record. I love ballads anyway. Michael's vocal delivery is just beautiful on this. The piano keyboard work on this song is absolutely gorgeous. I really love the guitar solo at the end of the song. It's really well done. This song it's an excellent closer. It just, even if it wasn't a ballad, it would have been an excellent closer. It's an interesting twist on the story, on the concept, on how things wind up. It's beautifully melancholic. It's sad that this revelation is being made to the daughter that the person that she thought was her dad turns out isn't her dad at all, and she never actually knew her real dad. So, very sad.
Can we just talk about how the father is just like a jerk. He, he basically says that the twins are adopted at this point.
Well, they weren't adopted. Yeah. They were just had outside the marriage.
But it's like giving the feeling of adoption.
Yeah. And the whole thing, as it turns out, he blames his wife for not being able to get pregnant with kids with him. He blames that on her. And it turns out it's him that was the problem all along. He wasn't capable of having kids. So, he's been this vicious jerk about his wife and her not being able to conceive kids with him. And he disowns the twins, and he gives everything to this daughter that he had outside of the marriage, and turns out wasn't his daughter at all. So, very sad.
I guess it's one cheater and then one just given to be able to cheat.
Yeah. Michael, you got anything else on this?
Nope.
All right. So it's time to give our overall thoughts on the album and give an album rating. Michael, go ahead and get us started. Give us your overall thoughts on the record and give us your rating out of 5.
If I were to compose a list of the song, like top 3, it would go Paragraph 2, A Story Never Told, and either Paragraph 5, Paragraph 4, or Paragraph 6, or Paragraph 7. So basically everything else.
And your rating?
How about you give your opinion, and then I'll give my rating, and then you'll give your rating.
Yeah. For me, I love the concept, even despite the fact that the father isn't a particularly likable character. I do feel bad for the twins, and I feel even worse for the daughter that he raised as his own. She really gets, to me, really gets left out in the cold. I love the music on this record. They don't have any extremely long songs on this record. There's a lot of, actually most of Opeth's stuff. There's at least, at least one 10+ minute song on most Opeth records. So there's none of those extremely long songs on this record. But it still manages to be this really beautiful, progressive rock album with a lot of tempo changes and a lot of just different styles of music that they managed to fit in on these shorter songs, but it still works so well for the concept.
Agreed.
All of the bass work and the drum work is absolutely phenomenal. All of the guitar work, absolutely phenomenal. The vocals are fantastic, although I think one could make an argument that Michael's delivery is a little over the top at times, a little theatrical. But again, I think it works for the concept. It works for the record because of the nature of what the record is about. I was absolutely thrilled with the fact that Michael brought back the death metal growls. That's something, in my opinion, that's been sorely lacking over the last, 10 plus years that they haven't been doing this. So it was a welcome change to see him bring those back.
Mm-hmm.
This album it really is a combination, almost a marriage, if you will, of old Opeth and the newer, more 70s prog rock inspired Opeth. It's a perfect marriage of those two things. It works so well. And I really, truly hope that this is the future direction of the band, where they can continue to marry those two versions of Opeth together, because it works. It works really well. I came into this record with high hopes, and I was not disappointed. Not even a little bit.
Mm-hmm.
It is, for those that have never listened to Opeth before or aren't familiar with prog music, it is one of those records that you do have to listen to a couple of times, maybe more than a couple of times, to get into, because the music is so dense, it's so complex, there's so many changes. So it is one of those things that does require multiple listens. And I think I listened to this thing like 2 or 3 times a day, every day, since the release of the record, just so that I felt like I had a good picture of the record on the whole, so we could discuss it. So that said, Michael, let's get your rating.
5 out of 5.
So Michael gives it 5 out of 5. And I am going to echo Michael's sentiments. I am going to give this 5 out of 5 as well. Excellent record. Was very happy with it. This week's question for the audience: what is your favorite track on The Last Will and Testament, and why? I did pose this question on our social media accounts, and I did get one response. This comes from Caustic Waves on Blue Sky. Caustic Waves says, an excellent album, a nice blend of their older Blackwater Park era sound with the proggier 70s sound featured on the last few post-Heritage albums. And yeah, that's kind of what I was saying in my summarization final thoughts on the record. I completely agree. It's a beautiful marriage of that older sound with the newer 70s prog rock sound. So yeah, completely agree with you, Caustic Waves. Michael, anything else before we move into our next segment?
Nope.
All right. So we'll move into our next segment. This is called Can't Wait. This is the new music coming soon that we're looking forward to. Just earlier this week, I haven't gotten a chance to listen to it yet, so I'm including it on this segment. Shadows Fall dropped their first new track in 12 years. It's titled In the Gray. Perhaps this is heralding a new record, perhaps to drop next year. I haven't heard any confirmation that that's the case yet, but I sure hope it is. I'm really looking forward to listening to In the Gray. Shadows Fall is one of my favorite metalcore bands from that early 2000s. There was a lot of bands that came out around that, metalcore bands that came out around that time that were highly influential on me. Killswitch Engage, Shadows Fall, All That Remains. So there was this new American metal movement. Lamb of God was a part of that movement as well, though I wouldn't classify them as metalcore. They're more straight up metal. But yeah, I am really stoked that Shadows Falls put out new music, and I'm looking forward to hearing it. Michael, anything on your radar coming up that you want to hear?
I am looking forward to a new record from Carnival. It's been way too long.
Wishing for a new Carnival album? Keep dreaming.
Maybe 30 plus years?
Maybe. Perhaps someday. Maybe if we keep praying to the metal gods. Anything else?
Nope.
All right. So we will move on to our listener feedback segment. We didn't get any other listener feedback other than the one response to our question regarding the Opeth record. But we do want to put it out here again that we're compiling our top 5 best records of the year lists in preparation for what will be our final show of the year. We'd like to hear from you on what your top rock and metal releases of 2024 were. Get your responses to us by December 11th, and we'll read them on the air. And we're going to move into our final segment now. This is Michael's journey, discovering a song from the past. And we're going to get Michael's thoughts this time around on George Michael's wonderful song, Freedom 90. A little background on this song. It was written, produced, and performed by English singer-songwriter George Michael and released by Columbia Records in October of 1990. The 90 added to the end of the title is to prevent confusion with a hit by Michael's former band Wham. The song was also titled Freedom. The song's backing beat is a sample from James Brown's song Funky Drummer. Freedom 90 was the third single taken from Listen Without Prejudice Volume 1, though released as the second single from the album in the US and Australia. It was one of a few up-tempo songs on this album. It was a major hit and peaked at number 8 on the US Billboard Hot 100. The song refers to Michael's past success with Wham, yet also shows a new side of himself as a new man who's more cynical about the music business than he had been before. George Michael refused to appear in the music video for this song, directed by David Fincher, and cast a group of supermodels to appear instead. It went into heavy rotation on MTV and was remastered for the 2017 documentary George Michael Freedom. Rolling Stone placed Freedom 90 at number 126 in their list of 500 best songs of all time in 2021, and Billboard ranked it number 39 in their 500 best pop songs of all time in 2023. So, high praise, high accolades for the song, right?
Very, really high.
So, Michael, let's get your thoughts on the song. What did you feel about the song?
It was very different from the Opeth record, definitely.
Yeah, much different, right? Big contrast.
I feel this song was very upbeat and had pretty good vocals from Michael. I did like the message of the song, and the instrumental was very good. And I also like the vocal harmony halfway through.
You're right. George Michael's vocals on this song are fantastic. All of the vocal harmonies are fantastic on this. I love this song so much. It's probably my favorite George Michael song. Has such a powerful message. I respect his push to break free from the image that was being pushed on him for the sake of MTV by his record label. I do wonder if this song could also be serving as a bit of a coming out, as George Michael was a gay man. The musical arrangement is really simple, but it's outstanding. I love the use of the choir and their vocal harmonies during the chorus. It works so well. It's such an uplifting song. It's self-empowering. Yeah, it's a beautifully done song. Excellent. Michael, let's get your rating out of 5 on Freedom 90.
5 out of 5.
Michael gives it a 5. Liked it that well, huh?
Mm-hmm.
Really positive message, right? Nice change from the dark negativity of the Opeth record.
It was a nice change from the Opeth record. Real big change. We go from heavy to more chill, melodic, upbeat music. From dark and gloomy music.
All right. So, up next for you, Michael, on our next episode you are going to listen to the song St. Elmo's Fire, Man in Motion by John Parr. I think you're going to like this one too. This is more of a rocker and less of a pop song. I think you're going to like this. And for our next episode, we will be discussing our top 5 records of 2024. Get ready for this one, folks. Michael and I are going to be listening to a boatload of music leading up to the recording of this episode. We've got a lot on our plates. We got a lot of music to listen to. I'm looking forward to having this discussion with you, Michael. All right, and with that said, we do want to hear from you. We will read your emails and messages on the show. We have only one request. Keep them clean. There are several ways to contact us. You can email us at lightmovepod@gmail.com. You can also reach us on several social media platforms such as Facebook, Blue Sky, Instagram, and Threads. Details on how to connect with us are in the show notes.
If you liked this show, subscribe to us on your favorite podcasting platform. And share with your friends and family. We are available on Spotify, Apple Podcasts, iHeartRadio, and a variety of other platforms. We are also on YouTube. Can't find us on your chosen platform? Shoot us a message and let us know. Leave us a 5-star review on Apple Podcasts. This helps us be found in the algorithm. Make them good, and we'll read them on the air. Are you in a band and you'd like for us to check you out and possibly drop a recommendation on the show? Shoot us a message. We'd love to check you out and give you a shout.
We'd like to thank you very much for listening to the Leitmotif in Movement podcast. Take care and enjoy music.